It's time for your statewide Alabama weathercast.
Good morning, I'm meteorologist Drew McCombs with the Alabama Weather Network, and this is your late morning forecast update. And take a look at our Skywatcher pictures to begin with. We've got a picture of some frost here in Wetumpka from Skylar Blackerby. So she said this was basically the first frost that they've seen so far this year. So some cold temperatures definitely out there. We didn't maybe get quite as cold as we could have because we had a little bit of lingering cloud cover and some fog that formed, but still got down into the 20s in the northern part of the state, including up in parts like of South Huntsville, where you can see Daniel Harbinson in this nice picture of the sunrise from this morning with some of the mountains there in the background. So there's some beautiful views there to start off the morning. It's just really nice to see some sunshine across a good portion of the state. However, still got a few clouds hanging around. And again, we did have some fog that lingered further into the morning. We still got maybe a little bit in some of the river valleys. You can see down here heading down towards parts of the Alabama River Basin down into the Mobile Delta. You've got a little bit of lingering fog, it looks like, in those river valleys. And we've got some high clouds moving in from the northwest with a little quick system that's moving through the little trough that's not going to produce any rain or anything like that. And also got some lower level clouds kind of pushing back in from the east as well. So there's lots of sunshine, but there still are a few spots that are seeing a little bit of cloud cover starting off this morning. Take a look at our airport delays as we're kind of getting into the Christmas travel season, as we'll kind of take a look at this occasionally. Across most of the country, looks like minor delays or no delays at this point. You've got some snow in places around the Great Lakes with the system coming through there, and then you've also got some up the northern plains. I've got a system moving into the Pacific Northwest, bringing some showers and some mountain snows there. But again, outside of Denver, looks like they've got a ground stop currently. Looks like the rest of the country this morning is pretty good as far as that is concerned. Let's take a look at our SkyCam network here. So again, you can see that high cloud cover coming into the northwestern part of the state, but you still see some blue skies out there. It's 38 degrees, so still pretty chilly, but hoping to kind of warm up a little bit, but it won't be super warm today, especially in the northern part of the state. We'll warm up a little bit more as we get into tomorrow. Looking at the Huntsville SkyCam atop Monte Sano, it's 33 degrees, so we're still just a little bit above freezing there at that elevation. And again, just a beautiful view there of the Tennessee Valley. Winds should be a little bit less breezy today, but still might have a little bit of a breeze occasionally around 5-10 miles per hour. Looking at Region Center, atop the Region Center in downtown Birmingham, it's 41 degrees there. It looks like we see mostly sunshine in that part of the state. And as we continue to move around the state, we'll take a look at Mount Cheaha. And hey, we can see a long ways for the first time in a little while from Mount Cheaha. So beautiful view there. And you can see it's 38 degrees there with dry air in place with those dew points in the 20s. As we move further to the south, Montgomery looking good as well, kind of in the sweet spot where there's really not much cloud cover around, so just beautiful blue skies there in the capital city. It's 44 degrees there with just a little bit of a breeze. And continuing to move towards the south, Dozier right now is perfectly clear at this point, so blue skies there, 46 degrees as we look towards the horizon there. And as we move down closer towards the coast, you'll see that we will continue to see a good bit of beautiful weather there. We can see blue skies and Point Clear looking back over Mobile Bay. It's 48 degrees, and so it's a little bit warmer there as far as the temperature is concerned. And as we move towards the beach, Gulf Shore is looking really nice this morning. Still pretty chilly though. It's 46 degrees there, and we're still getting a little bit of a breeze along the coast with gusts up to around 20 miles per hour. But again, compared to yesterday, should be a little bit less breezy. All right, here's the story, what we're watching for the rest of this week. Dry through Friday, so we're kind of drying out. We're going to be warming up a little bit. Seasonal temperatures, but tomorrow and Thursday, or tomorrow and then also on Friday, it looks like, should be relatively warm, especially compared to what we've seen here recently. So it'll be pretty nice weather. Thursday, we might see a little bit of a dip in temperatures, but then Friday looking pretty good again. Some rain possible on Sunday. So we've kind of introduced rain into the forecast. The models have been trending towards that. Could even see a few showers on Saturday, but probably at least an increase in cloud cover. But Sunday looks like we'll have a quick hit of some showers moving through with the Arctic front, which again, the question of how cold we get after that is still kind of out there. So low temperatures so far today. It did get pretty cold this morning for sure. We got down in the 20s across a good portion of the northern part of the state. Hit 27 degrees in Gadsden, 28 in Tuscaloosa. Got down to 28 as far south as Troy. Looks like that's maybe the furthest south place I see 20s, but got down to freezing in places like Andalusia and Geneva as well. So definitely a cold start this morning. Our sky watchers reported the same thing. 25 degrees is what Scott Shields hit in Owens Crossroads. Got 27 from Mike Stevens in Helena. Stephen Allen at the Bessemer Airport hit 28. Ronald Hughes in Coker, 29 degrees. And then right at 30 degrees is what we got from Levi Hall in real time. Temperatures right now have warmed up a little bit. Again, we've seen more sunshine, so we're at least warming a little bit compared to what we've seen the last couple mornings. 42 degrees in Anniston, 37, so still 30s in parts of the northern part of the state in the Tennessee Valley. 43 degrees in Troy. We're already at 50 in Gulf Shores. And again, the southern part of the state will be a little bit warmer today, as you would expect, compared to the north. Wind speeds, again, have kind of died down, and so we're not as breezy today, but you still may get an occasional breeze, but definitely not quite as much as we saw yesterday with that cold air coming in behind the front. Forecast highs for today, again, we expect to get generally in the 50s, maybe a few spots still in the north, may not quite get out of the 40s, but we hopefully will get into the low 50s at least in places like Birmingham, Tuscaloosa, Alex City, and then maybe mid 50s and even upper 50s as you move further towards the south. Now, forecast lows for tonight won't be quite as cold, but still pretty chilly. 36 in Huntsville, expect kind of basically low mid 30s in the northern part of the state, and still fairly widespread 30s as you move further to the south as well. So maybe only getting into the 40s though as you get closer towards the coast. Looking at our futurecast, so again, we've showing a little bit of this cloud cover hanging back in Georgia that's been trying to come into eastern Alabama this morning. So there still may be some of that gets in the way of the sun for a little bit. And again, here are those high clouds moving through. Those should move through fairly quickly. And again, it looks like we should be pretty sunny this afternoon, which will allow us to warm up a decent amount compared to the last couple of days. And then as we get into Wednesday, again, we've got some more clouds kind of moving through the area, but generally still mostly sunny skies and temperatures looking to get up into the upper 50s in the north and maybe low 60s and maybe mid 60s in the south. So Wednesday still looking like a pretty nice day compared to the rest of them. Now Thursday it looks like we cool down a little bit. We have this quick moving little system where some cooler air will filter in just kind of briefly where we cool back down just a little bit on Thursday, but then it looks like Friday will start to kind of warm up again a little bit. However, more cloud cover starts to move in then, and a lot of the warm up has to do with starting to see some southerly flow begin to return again, which you can see a few specks of green showing up here, so there might be a few showers, so maybe just a little bit warmer, but a little bit more cloudy and a few more showers around as we hit Friday. But again, we don't expect any significant rainfall with anything that you might see. This still shows a few showers as we get into Saturday morning as well. And as we take a look at the kind of a little bit further out in time, the models are hinting at the possibility for a few showers, very light showers on Saturday as well, but generally more cloud cover around. So we expect Saturday to have a good bit of cloud cover, maybe a few scattered showers. And then as we get into Sunday, you see this front coming in, and this is that Arctic front, which the models have kind of pushed back the timing of that arriving a little bit later than originally thought that we originally saw in the forecast a couple of days ago. Still, this would be very light rain that would be coming in with this. Don't expect any thunderstorms. The rain totals would be very minimal, so nothing significant with that. And then behind that, we clear out and get colder as we head into Sunday and into Monday and kind of the first part of the week. And then after that, it looks like we again stay kind of dry as we head further into Sunday and into Monday at this point. Rainfall outlook, again, we don't expect really any significant rainfall at all. Might get a quarter of an inch if you get lucky in places like Florence, but generally most of the state is going to be a tenth of an inch or less as far as any rain that falls as we head towards the next week or so. Temperature trend, again, so right now we're still kind of got some cold air that's in place right now. That's how we got so cold this morning. And then we get a little bit of a kind of a brief warm up on Wednesday before then we get another little glancing blow of that colder air where we cool back down briefly on Thursday, and then it warms back up a little bit again on Friday. So it's going to be kind of back and forth, but we'll have a few days where we get at least a little bit warmer. And then there's that big Arctic air mass. Now, again, the models have trended more towards moving this or keeping this further to the north and the northeast, and so that we're getting sort of a glancing blow versus getting kind of the full brunt of the Arctic air. So again, we still expect to get colder again as we head into Sunday and into Monday, but probably not quite as cold as we originally were thinking as we just kind of get more of a glancing blow. And it'll be the northern part of the state that gets colder. The southern part of the state really may not see quite as much before we start to moderate again. And then it looks like by the time we get to next Wednesday or Thursday, we may see another system move through to bringing potentially another chance of rain. All right, here's your 7-day forecast for the northern half of the state. So again, looking pretty nice as the sunshine returns and we see some pretty nice weather as we get into, again, Wednesday especially, Friday especially looking pretty good as well. But Thursday won't be too bad, just slightly cooler. Temperatures generally dropping into the 30s at night. And then again, a few showers around possibly on Saturday, but Sunday, better chance of seeing a few showers. But again, nothing heavy with that. And then still forecasting getting down into the 20s Monday morning. So we do, especially in North Alabama, we'll have some colder air moving in as we kind of originally expected, but just a little bit different than we'd expected. Southern half of Alabama looking really nice if you're in that part of the state for, again, Wednesday with the highs in the 60s, highs in the 60s again on Friday, good bit of sunshine around Wednesday. Again, Friday might not have quite as much sunshine. Now Saturday, again, maybe a shower or two, still fairly warm. And then Sunday, a little bit smaller rain chances. A lot of that shower activity will probably be waning as it reaches further to the south with that front moving through. And then still cold Monday morning, but not quite as cold in the southern part of the state. Well, that is your Alabama forecast update. We appreciate you watching us here on the Alabama Weather Network.